Welcome to Must Have Classics, where we restore history one classic at a time. Welcome back to Must Have Classics. I'm Nick, and today we're starting on a whole new build. This car behind me is one that we picked up from my brother-in-law probably 8 months ago now. Just kind of been sitting it off on the side, waiting to decide what we're going to do with it. But I'll go ahead and show it to you. So this here is a 71 Buick Skylark, or as my wife would say,
a Buick Skylark.
And we picked it up in a town north of Lubbock quite a while ago and got a good deal on it. Paid $1,300 for the car with the title, and it is a pretty decent car for the considering. My brother-in-law, he really wanted a Chevelle or something like that, and well, Chevelles are expensive, but these Skylarks are pretty easy to find, especially around here, and they're all in pretty good shape. So this one, you see, quarter panel is in great shape. Rockers are in good shape here. It does have a hole in the floor. We'll patch that. The rest of the floor is pretty solid. If you can see up underneath, I think everything's in really good shape. A little bit of rust in the driver door. The trunk I have had open once before when we first bought the car, and I don't have a screwdriver. I'll probably open it later. Throw some parts in it. Rear bumper, of course, has gotten hit here, so we'll have to replace the rear bumper. This quarter panel is a little bit worse for wear. Good amount of rust here, all the way around. Decide what we're going to do with that later on. The door is not great on this side, and it's completely gone on the inside, but I have another door for it. There's a spare grill. The interior is done for, but at least it's all here. We'll get all this recovered, probably keep the original bench seat, and then just make everything like new on the inside. This fender is gonna have to be replaced. It's rusted at the bottom. I might could patch that, but with all this right here, I'll probably just repair it or replace it. And of course, it's missing the windshield and back glass. That's not that big of a problem. And then front end, it's honestly in pretty good shape. This here is just kind of dangling there. And then overall, it's a good car, and you know, for what it is, it will work great. It'll still be a good car when we're all done with it. Now, engine-wise, this car has the original 350 with a 2-barrel 350 transmission, and I'll show that to you here. I have to pass the camera off. So, in here, original 350, and everything's in pretty good shape. I do actually have this motor running, and I'll put a video up on here at this point showing it running. So yeah, motor actually runs pretty good. Transmission even works well. We got the rear tires spinning, headed up in the air. Of course, no brakes, so we didn't try to drive it. But like I said, we're probably not going to keep this 350. We'll probably go with an LS or something a little bit easier to do. Buick motors are decent, but it's not a small block Chevy or anything like that. So it's, you know, drivability and usability, it's going to be a lot easier to get something else. So that's what we're probably going to go with. So to start this episode with, I actually want to pull this motor and transmission because I want to start getting a look at what we have in here that we need to work on. Of course, we're going to have to do a painless harness, all that. But I just want to start getting this thing out and see what we're working with, making sure there's not anything hidden in there. So that's what we're going to do this episode. We're going to get that motor and transmission out. Of course, start by getting the hood off, and then start getting all this torn off. My wife's here today, Heaven. She'll probably help me getting the top stuff done while I jump underneath and get drive shaft out and stuff like that. So should be pretty easy, but all I can do is get into it and get started on it. Let's get this motor out. So we've got the hood off, and then we started getting everything off the engine. I've already got the carburetor off. We've got the radiator out. I've cut the power steering hoses. Of course, no matter what we did, those were going to have to be replaced. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and get the car jacked up in the rear, get up underneath this thing, and get the transmission undone, and then get these motor mounts. And then there, I think we can start getting it, trying to pull out. Really don't need to take anything else off the front right now. I might, depending on what I need to do with these exhaust manifolds, if I want to just cut the exhaust pipes or undo them on the bottom. Haven't decided on that yet until I get up underneath it. Here though, we did figure out that the battery tray had rotted away and rotted the inner fender out and some of the core support, but that's not too bad to fix. Otherwise, everything else looks pretty good in here. I was surprised that the engine and the radiator still had a little bit of water in it because the water pump is completely seized. And that's when last time I ran it, I just cut the belts off of it and then just ran it like that. Not the end of the world. So, you know, whatever happens to the engine, that's definitely had to be done. Other than that, I think it still run just fine because it ran good when I had it running last time. So yeah, from here, let's get up in the air and start getting all the stuff underneath done. All right, now this thing's up in the air, we can get a better look up underneath this thing. Of course, there's the bad fender, inner and outer. Really no good way to fix that. Definitely just gonna have to replace that. But again, rockers are in great shape. This is the first time I've actually been up underneath this car. I have to say, it may be kind of hard to see, it's kind of dark underneath here, but these floors are in incredible shape for the age and everything. This over here I originally thought was going to be rusted out, but it's not. It's all just torn, and I'm not even sure that even happened. So that's an easy fix. But again, like, floors are perfect. Everything back here at the rear end is in great shape. So yeah, I think we got a great deal on this car for what we're going to do to it. And then from here, again, you can see up here, transmission's dirty, which, I mean, kind of expected that, but everything here looks good. Exhaust, I think I'm just going to take it off right here. I may just cut it here or there or something because it all needs to be replaced no matter what. But that'll make life easier. So I'm going to do both sides up there, and of course the motor mounts, and then get this drive shaft out, and then dig through all this and see where those bolts are that are holding that transmission in, and should be pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that. Not gonna film anything. I'm just gonna check back in just a second because it's hard to get a camera up underneath here. Plus I'm running my heater because it's cold in here today. So yeah, and then of course, didn't show it earlier, frame again is in great shape on this car. Not sure if I'll go frame off, but we'll see. Honestly, I usually only do frame off if the floors are bad or the frame needs work, and both of these are in great shape, but we'll see. All just depends on how the build progresses from there. So yeah, let me get this stuff underneath here undone, and then we'll check back up when we're up front, ready to pull this engine out. Well, there we have it. Motor and transmission's out. Like I said, transmission greasy, motor. Everything seems to be in pretty good shape. Was able to keep the exhaust intact, but that needs to be changed anyways. Car in here looks fine. It's kind of dark in here. It's getting kind of late. We'll get all this cleaned up and all that. But that's a big day to get that thing out. Like I said, a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, so that'll do it for this episode on this car. Next episode, I'll probably get it all taken apart and start going through all the parts that are inside, see what we have, what we don't have. Of course, you know, the only way to know is to get into it, and we'll see what happens when we get into it. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. Comment down below what you'd like to see this car done. We're still kind of deciding on some stuff. We're not really sure color or interior colors or even drivetrain, if we want to, you know, maybe go back with this or put a small block Chevy in it or an LS or something like that. So comment down below what you think we should do to this car. Check us out on Instagram, Must Have Classics, and Facebook at Must Have Classics for All, sorry, LLS. And you know, we'll get back on this one. We've also got more videos coming out on my '69 Cougar pretty soon, and then we've got other projects in here that we'll do some other stuff too, and keep moving along. So yeah. Like I said, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you back in the next episode. Remember, get those classics out and enjoy them as much as you can.